Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, now here I am continuing with my Planet of the Apes reviews. Now, before I start off, I just want to say that, if you just watched the last review that I made, which I only finished uploading about, a little while ago now, when my last review when I reviewed the Tim Burton remake, I saw that what I was saying at the start of that video, how, I was, like, going through, like, some stuff that kept, like holding me up from making the review. And yeah, and I was like saying like at the end I was gonna try to review this film. Well, yeah, Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes like the next day, but yeah, I got like kind of held up again. Yeah, I actually filmed my review for the Tim Burton remake last night, and I was like meaning to actually upload it like last night as well. But yeah, apparently like I had like something that happened to my phone. Apparently like my phone got shut down or something because it just like the payment wasn't made. Yeah, I'm on like another payment. So yeah, it like got shut down. So yeah, I wasn't paying for the phone, somebody else was, but yeah, I had to like end up getting another phone. So yeah, I now am like filming on another phone now, and so yeah, that's why like the quality of this video may look kind of differently because I'm filming with another phone now, and yeah, I'm also like kind of had to position it a little bit farther back because when I had it positioned at like the where I normally have it, it just like looked a little bit too close, so I had to back it up a little bit. So yeah, the video kind of looked a little bit differently. This is why if you see me like reaching forward a little bit more from now on, that's why. It's because I'm just like using a different phone, and I just need to like keep it a little back to keep it at the good angle that it's usually been. So yeah, so that's really why. Just yeah, if you see me now, the video looks differently, and I'm also wearing like a different shirt because yeah, the my last review was actually filmed last night on the 28th. So yeah, now like as of right now it's July 29th. Yeah, so yeah, all right. Anyway, so yeah, here I am now with a review, continuing with the Planet of the Apes reviews. Now here I am with a review for Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So, yeah, this one, this I finally was able to watch a good Planet of the Apes film. I mean, the last three films really have not been very good, but yeah, finally I am back to another good Planet of the Apes film. I mean, yeah, this was just something like a really, really, really good movie. I really did enjoy watching this. I mean, yeah, when this film came out, like people just really did love it, and yeah, it it deserves the love. I mean, it definitely was a really, really good movie, and yeah, I really did enjoy watching this film. I mean, yeah, I guess like, yeah, Fox finally did redeem the Planet of the Apes names because, yeah, basically since like Conquest of Planet of the Apes, like they just really didn't make the movies just really were not very good, and yeah, even like after even going back to like Beneath the Planet of the Apes, they really were not like that great at films. But yeah, this is definitely like the best Planet of the Apes film since the original film up to this point. Yeah, this was just definitely like a really, really, really good film, and I really did enjoy it. So, yeah, like I said in my review of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, like this film, it does kind of have a similar premise to Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, but it's not really like a direct remake of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, it's not like an official announced remake of that film, but yeah, I guess like just it was like a retelling of the story for Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. And like I said when I reviewed Conquest of Planet of the Apes, just yeah, this film definitely does tell the story a whole lot better than Conquest did. I mean, yeah, Conquest just like had me completely bored watching it, but yeah, this one actually did captivate my interest, and yeah, it just told the story so much better. I mean, yeah, in this film, like, it still is focused like on the monkey, the ape, and yeah, the ape is once again named Caesar. Yeah, and the film like does star like James Franco as the a biologist who actually did take Caesar in after the death of Caesar's mother. Her, yeah, and so yeah, James Frank, yeah, Will ended up like taking uh, Caesar in, and yeah, he basically like raised Caesar, and yeah, we also have like cast members like John Lithgow, Brian Cox, Tom Felton, and so yeah, just like other cast members like that. And yeah, and in this film, it's basically like Tom Felton, like even when he's not playing Draco Malfoy here, he still is playing Draco Malfoy. I mean, yeah, in this film, just it seemed like Tom Felton was just still like acting as Draco Malfoy. I mean, that's how like Tom Felton's character was themed here. I mean, he just seemed like a complete ass like Draco Malfoy. So yeah, and yeah, well, I actually really did like how they had the apes interact in this film because yeah, in this film like the apes really do not speak at all. I mean, only like Caesar speaks a few words, and even then he doesn't actually speak until like the last 30 minutes of the film. So yeah, I did think it was interesting that they went down that approach and really didn't have like the apes like talk all the time like in the original film. So yeah, I really did think this was like an interesting take for the Planet of the Apes films. And yeah, I actually did think that this film actually did tell a pretty great story. I mean, it does have the stuff with Caesar, and it also like has stuff with like Will's father is like diagnosed with Alzheimer's and he's trying to cure it, but eventually like it just takes its toll on his father, and his father ends up passing away and stuff. And so yeah, and it's basically just yeah, basically like a bunch of like science related stuff going on with Will and stuff, since of course he is a scientist. And eventually like Caesar does end up like forming an ape army and stuff, and that like it goes into like the last 30 minutes of the film pretty much. And so yeah, I actually did think that this really did tell like a really good story. I mean, like I said, like it tells this story like much better than Conquest of Planet of the Apes did. So yeah, I'm just am glad that this film did do that story justice, and of course like the other two films, Dawn and War, did like the story of Battle of Planet of the Apes justice as well. So I'm glad that these three films really did do like the stories for the last two films of the original series justice. So yeah, I really did enjoy this film. I'd give this film 3.5 stars out of 4. I mean, really just not, I wouldn't quite call it really a great film, but it is like definitely a really good film, and I really did enjoy watching it. So yeah, alright, so yeah, let me just get right into the story of it. Alright. So as the film opens up, it's showing that um like there's this chimpanzee, a bright eye, who's like a female chimpanzee, ends up like being captured by some scientists and taken in for experiments, hence in like the San Francisco biotech company, the Genesis. And it's showing that Genesis is like testing viral ALZ-112, which is like a viral based drug, is being tested on chimpanzees in order to find a cure for the Alzheimer's disease. And then yeah, it's then given to like the chimp Bright Eyes, and showing that her intelligence is like greatly increased. But as like Will was then like presenting the drug, Bright Eyes ended up like being forced from her cage, and she ended up like going on a rampage, and she ended up being shot to death. And then like their project ended up like being terminated by Will's boss, Stephen Jacobs. And yeah, the chimps ended up being slaughtered, but then like it was showing that Bright Eyes rampage was because that she had like recently given birth to a baby chimp, so she did it out of protection. And so then yeah, Will then reluctantly then decided to take in the chimp named Caesar. And then yeah, and it was eventually like revealed that Caesar actually did inherit the intelligence from his mother, and then yeah, Will ended up raising him. And yeah, basically like for basically about, I want to say like the first 30 minutes or so of this movie is basically showing like Caesar like growing up basically as as Will is raising him. Yeah, and as 3 years pass, Will then like introduce Caesar to the redwood forest at Weir Woods National Monument. And then like as Will like was like treating his father, who was like suffering from dementia, he was like treating his father with the ALZ-112, and like it seemed that actually did restore his cognitive ability. Yeah, And then after 5 years passed, then Caesar then was then reaching adolescence, and after he ended up seeing a dog on a leash like himself. He then was starting to question who he really was, and then Will eventually explained Caesar's origins to him. And then yes, Will's dad's condition just ended up coming back, and then yeah, he was then starting to resist the ALZ-112, and then and after there was something going on with a like an aggressive neighbor, Douglas Hunsaker, or Caesar ended up fighting Douglas, and after uh, Will's dad was just really confused, and Douglas was really just yelling at him, and then yeah, Caesar then just fought Douglas and really injured him, and then yeah, after everyone saw the commotion, then the animal control then ended up taking Caesar to a primate shelter, and then yeah, Will basically was just forced to leave Caesar there, and yeah, it showed that Caesar, as he was there, he was just being tormented by the chief guard, Dodge Landon, who was played by Tom Felton, as well as another chimp, Rocket. But yeah, as Caesar was at the shelter, he also ended up befriending an orangutan, Maurice, and then yeah, and over time Caesar was befriending a lot of the other apes there, and eventually Caesar figured out how he could unlock his cage, and then after he met a gorilla named Buck, he ended up Caesar then confronted the alpha of the sanctuary, Rocket, and then yeah, he then ended up claiming Rocket's position. And then yeah, as all that was going on, Jacobs then eventually ended up clearing development of the more powerful gaseous version of the ALZ-113 drug. And then and yeah, Will ended up taking the drug back home to try to save his father, but yeah, his dad ended up just declining the treatment, and overnight he ended up passing away. Yeah. And then yeah, and then yeah, eventually after there was an attempt to test the drug on a bonobo test subject, Koba, Will's assistant, Robert Franklin, ended up being exposed to the drug, and he started becoming ill, and then the blood ended up being sneezed on Douglas, and Franklin ended up eventually being discovered dead, and then yeah, later on Will then was trying to get Caesar back, but yeah, as he Caesar's cage was open, he just ended up refusing to go back with Will. So because he wanted to look after the other apes, and then yeah, later that night Caesar ended up escaping from the shelter, and yeah, he ended up then returning to Will's house, and he took some of the ALZ-113 with him. And after he returned, Caesar ended up releasing a lot, using the gas, and then it ended up enhancing the intelligence of the other apes. And then yeah, Dodge then caught Caesar outside of his cage, and he was trying to get him back. And yeah, Caesar was fighting with Dodge, and at one point he grabbed Dodge's arm, and once again we had the homage to the original film with Dodge just screaming, "Take your stinking paw off me, you damn dirty ape." So yeah, another homage to the original film, just like in the Tim Burton remake. Yeah. And then that's when Caesar finally spoke, and he yelled, "No." Oh yeah, and then yeah, he then eventually ended up like releasing like a lot of the other apes from their cages, and then yeah, and he eventually ended up like inadvertently killing Dodge after like Dodge was like holding a taser, and as he was like activating it, then like a Caesar ended up like spraying Dodge with water. So yeah, of course, like that ended up like killing Dodge. And then yeah, the apes then like fled the shelter, and then they also released the other chimps from Genesis, and also like a lot of other apes from the San Francisco Zoo. And as like the apes were like trying to pass the Golden Gate Bridge to escape into the Redwood Forest, they ended up like being having to go through a blockade of police, and so yeah, they ended up like fighting past the police, and eventually like after like there was a helicopter that Jacobs was in, and that was heading towards Caesar, like Buck ended up like jumping into the helicopter, and the helicopter ended up crashing down on the bridge, and so yeah, then yeah, that ended up of course like killing Buck, and then yeah, like Jacobs was ended up like being trapped in the wreckage, and Caesar was just like ignoring any of the pledges that Jacobs was trying to get help from, and then yeah, another one of the he and then Koba, yeah, then like wanted a chance of revenge, and so then he ended up just pushing the remains of the helicopter down over the bridge, and then sent Jacobs falling into the bay to his death. Yeah, and eventually the apes then like were arrived in the forest, and then yeah, Will eventually ended up like catching up to Caesar, and then he was just like telling Caesar that humans will actually be hunting them down, and he was just trying to beg Caesar to come back home with him, and he'll protect Caesar. But then yeah, Caesar then ended up just hugging Will, and basically as a final goodbye, he just told Will that Caesar is home, and so then yeah, Will then just accepted Caesar's decision, and then let Caesar go into the forest, and then he just like watched Caesar and the other apes just embracing the forest, and yeah, then just like ended with showing Caesar climbing up a real tall tree and just like embracing the lifestyle in the forest, and then yeah, then the movie then cut to credits, but yeah, then like in a then like during the credits, like there was a scene that showed Douglas leaving his house as an airline pilot heading to the San Francisco International Airport, and then as he was like walking through the airport, it then just showed like his nose was like dripping blood, similar to what happened with Franklin earlier on. And so yeah, this was just like, I guess, a sign that the virus that was that like Franklin was carrying after he was exposed to the gas like was spreading, heading, and it was just like a trace of the spread of the humanity ravaging virus around the globe via international flight routes. So yeah, I guess it was just a sign of that, and then yeah, that's how it ended. So yeah, like I said, 3.5 stars out of 4. I mean, it's definitely like a really good film, and yeah, like I said, it tells the story so much better than Conquest of Planet of the Apes did. So yeah, like I said earlier, I'm just glad that the story was finally done justice with this film. So yeah, this definitely is a really good film. Highly recommended, especially if you want a much better telling of the story than Conquest of the Planet of the Apes told it. So yeah, definitely a really good film overall, and definitely worth a watch. Alright, so yeah, that does it for my review of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, so I hope you guys did enjoy this review. And so yeah, and now that I've got this new phone now, I'm hoping that I can actually finish these reviews tomorrow. And so yeah, tomorrow I hopefully will finish these reviews, and I'll try to make reviews for both Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes tomorrow, so I can finally get through these Planet of the Apes reviews. So yeah, and I am really hoping it is true this time. So yeah, so I'm hoping so tomorrow on the 30th. So I'm not sure when you guys are actually watching this, but as I'm filming this, it is July 29th. So I'm hoping that tomorrow, July 30th, I can finally get through these reviews and review both Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes. So hopefully stay tuned for those coming up tomorrow. But anyway, so I hope you guys did enjoy this review, and yeah, I hope that the quality of this video looks okay with the camera for this new phone. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.